Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you iPhone 6. This one happens to have a really messed up screen. It's just a regular iPhone 6 though. Get us a black screen out. Alright, so we want to shut it off. Hold the home button and power button together. It's off. Unscrew these bottoms. Now it's I'm trying to uncut the video, but I am working, so I might have to cut it here and there. As you can see, this one's been replaced before and it's kind of falling apart. You don't want to ever, really bend the screen much further than 90 degrees. You start going over, you're going to start ripping these cables. And like this cable is your home button, fingerprint. The next one below it is your camera, Siri microphone, FaceTime microphone, earpiece hookup. So you always want to keep this at pretty much a 90 degree at the very most. Anything more than that seems to kind of stress it out. These are all just Phillips, except for the bottom ones. Now we got it off. Again, I say this time and time, you don't ever want to use a metal on the motherboard, but I do, just because of the fact that I've repaired a bajillion of these and I've never ruined one yet. On this one in particular, it has kind of a lot of little resistors and stuff. So let's put that off to the side. I'd probably, I've done these a lot, so this is kind of the easiest way to do it that I've found. So just kind of follow along, taking out these screws and making little piles like I am, because all these screws are just the side screws for this back plate. I kind of just have this little method of weighing them down in the order that they kind of come out. Like, I know those 3 are these bottom 3, and those 6 are these sides. Now this is a little tricky. Since this one's been apart, it's not going to be that hard, but normally you have to kind of pick that up. And you don't want to put too much pressure on it, but you kind of have to dig underneath there, and there's a metal plate on this flex. And you have to get in between that metal plate and the plastic, otherwise you ruin your home button. Just leave this off to the side. It's actually a junk one. Oh, this is tricky. If it's taped, be really careful. That. Can I push that off? Try to get it to relax that cable back to a flat look again. Then you're going to want to put your metal plate on, being careful of this little area, making sure it's not under the metal plate or anything. Start by putting your screws back inside. Good magnetic screwdriver is always key here. If you don't have a magnetic screwdriver, there's videos on how to turn any screwdriver into a magnetic screwdriver in a few seconds. And you'll have to probably charge it every now and then if you do a lot of things where it uses the magnet. Pop this back in. There's little holes in this flex that line up on the plastic board there. Fill it up. Clicks good. Make sure they're sort of tight but not too tight. You over tighten them, you're going to turn like a little mark on the front screen. Now you want to lay this out. Keep in mind that this little tab right here is your microphone for when you're FaceTiming or talking to Siri. And if you look, it might be hard to see, but it's got a little hole, two little holes. One's the microphone hole and the other one lines up with a little plug on the top of the screen. Hopefully you guys can see that. I don't know if it focused or not. And then you're going to want to line this microphone up, stick it down, making that little knob come through the flex cable. And you're going to want to take these two and line them up in this hole up here, because they're your sensors for when you get a phone call and you put it up to your head. If those are messed up, the screen won't go black. Then you kind of just gotta work these in. Has little holes and little pegs. Everything lines up. Again, this is a part where you could easily ruin the screen just from installation errors. Now, you have these four. You just gotta plug them in. Plug those four in. Try to get them to lay nice and flat with each other, keeping the screen at 90 degrees. Lay your plate in there with your magnetic screwdriver. Pick up your 5 screws that we strategically laid out. On any of the older iPhone 5s and stuff, this screw in particular isn't magnetic. It makes it a pain in the butt. So now we got all 5 screws in there. Try to clip under, slowly resting this down. Now if yours, this one's pretty beat up, but if yours has dented in corners, chances are you're not going to get the screen in there without breaking it back, breaking it into the phone again, unless you can undent those parts. Problem with trying to just regularly undent those parts is you have to take the phone in its entirety apart to pull the motherboard out so you don't damage anything shaking it or hitting it with anything. So let's give this bad boy a try and see what happens. Thank God it's a sort of newer phone. It shouldn't take that long to power up. All right. So again, we need to test the phone to make sure everything's working. I always just take an app and just wiggle it around. As long as you don't lift your finger up or nothing, you'll find that there is, test for a dead spot. Everything's good. And then you do voice memo. Testing. We want to test this ear speaker. Alright, and then when you record, if you put your hand over it, it should go dark. His mic. Okay, the sensor isn't on to work. Alright, this one's probably going to need a new camera sensor. It might just need to be restarted. A lot of the times the phones will act like this sensor isn't working when the phone just really needs to be restarted. So the ear speaker works. We tested that. Let's see if Siri hears us. Hello.
Hey there.
Alright, Siri hears us. So let's restart this. I just gotta wait for a minute. And let's test that sensor again. It may need to be replaced. Yeah, the sensor's messed up. May need to be replaced, or the phone may need to be updated. We've had some phones and the sensor wasn't working because of the phone update. So I'll just make a note of the sensor not working. Let's see what we would go from here. The phone does need an update, and since this phone isn't that old still, I would update it. But if you have any questions or anything, just leave a comment. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be making more videos. If you'd like to have your phone fixed, you can always send it in to us to get it fixed professionally, or you can try to do it yourself. Do it yourself method works, but not always. So just take that into consideration. See you.